realized I was grieving someone who was still alive. I didn't lose him in an accident. There was no hospital call, no funeral, no final goodbye that split life into before and after. He was still alive, still breathing, still walking around the world like nothing had changed. And somehow, that made it so much worse. We had been together for 7 years, long enough that our lives weren't just connected, they were woven together. Shared routines, shared friends, shared future plans that lived in casual sentences like one day, and eventually, we knew each other's coffee orders, each other's silences. I thought that meant something permanent. The change didn't arrive dramatically, it seeped in. He started listening less, really listening. His eyes would drift when I spoke. His answers became shorter, nods instead of questions. I noticed it, but I explained it away. Stress at work, exhaustion, a phase. I made excuses so often they started sounding like facts. I told myself love wasn't supposed to feel exciting all the time, that this was what long-term relationships looked like, comfortable, quiet, mature. But deep down, I felt something was wrong. The first moment I couldn't ignore came late one night. We were lying in bed, backs turned to each other, phones glowing softly in the dark. Without looking, I reached for his hand. Muscle memory. Habit. A reflex built over years. He didn't pull away. He just didn't respond. His hand stayed limp in mine, like it didn't belong to him anymore. I lay there holding it, staring at the wall, realizing my touch had lost its meaning. And something inside my chest cracked open. After that, I saw everything. How he stopped asking about my day. How my jokes no longer made him laugh. How silence settled between us and stopped feeling temporary. We lived together, but it felt like sharing space with someone already packing emotionally, like he was waiting for a different life to begin. I tried to talk about it, carefully, calmly. I chose my words like stepping on thin ice. I told him I felt lonely even when he was right next to me. He sighed, not angrily, not defensively, just tired. I don't know what you want me to say, he replied. That sentence hurt more than any argument could have, because it meant he wasn't fighting. He wasn't confused. He was already gone. The night I truly understood it, we were at a friend's birthday dinner. He laughed freely, told stories, leaned forward with an energy I hadn't seen in months. Not with me, with everyone else. His eyes lit up in a way I hadn't seen directed at me in a long time. I watched him across the table and felt something unfamiliar settle into my chest. Grief. Not anger. Not jealousy. Grief. Because I realized I was watching the person I loved exist fully everywhere, except with me. I started grieving while he was still beside me, quietly, privately. I cried in the shower so he wouldn't hear. I stared at the ceiling at night, wondering what exactly love had slipped away. I mourned conversations we no longer had, a future that was dissolving without anyone naming it. We broke up a month later, softly. No screaming, no betrayal. Just two people acknowledging what had already happened. He hugged me goodbye the way you hug someone you once loved. Careful, polite, empty. That was the hardest part. In the weeks after, people asked how I was doing. I said I was okay. And I was. In the way you're okay when the pain hasn't fully arrived yet. Then it did. In grocery stores when I reached for things he liked. In unfinished jokes I still wanted to tell him. In moments when my first instinct was to share something, and there was no one there anymore. But the strangest realization came slowly. I wasn't grieving the breakup. I was grieving the months I stayed after love had already left. I had learned how to be lonely in a relationship. I had learned how to disappear quietly next to someone who no longer saw me. And once you've experienced that kind of loneliness, being alone afterward feels almost peaceful. I don't hate him. I don't wish him harm. But I will never again ignore the slow, silent way someone can stop choosing you. Because the worst loss isn't when someone leaves. It's when they stay. And you're already grieving them while they're still alive.